We go first of the best of fives.
Let's
Oh.
do this. In the bottom left, sweet Jesus. It's the My Insanity player, PtitDrogo.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss, representing US of A. Give it up for Neeb.
USA, USA. The last
USA.
American citizen to represent Canadians. Do not count. Get out,
No, no,
Canadians.
no, 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 no. Isn't Huck
Ah, he's a dual citizen, but right now he's
American
identifying more as a Canadian.
You said citizen.
He
You
flip-flops
said
like a
citizen.
mofo, alright?
Wow, what is this, a political debate?
He flip-flops more than him. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's not get to political stuff right now. Um, so, PvP, we already have early expansions coming out on both these players. I feel like PvP, it's gone for this really, really fun place in Heart of the Swarm where it's like, whoever expands first will oftentimes die, unless you do make it to a macro game, in which case Colossus versus Colossus. But now it's like, it's pretty okay to just expand really quickly.
Yeah. It actually feels more and more like TVT, which is an odd thing to say, but basically TVT, since the beginning, actually, you could expand or you could try and one base it for a little while. And from what I've seen in PvP, that happens as well. You can both expand, you can both try and one base for a little while, or you can have that, dynamic of one guy tries to be a little more aggressive, the other one a little more defensive. I've also, from my limited experience with PvP, has been seeing, Blink Stalker Disruptor. It was kind of the talk of the town, shall we say, after the last DreamHack and those really silly, crazy games. However, more and more we're seeing people go for Charge Out Archon as well, so it's definitely not the only thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing, just talking about the openings that we already see over here, Neeb doing something very, very interesting, going for the double gateway and chrono boosting both of those gateways. And PtitDrogo will come in over here and scout that, and unless there's some other small, subtle hint that he knows about that I'm unfamiliar with, he's going to look at that, and 90% of pro players, I feel like, would say, oh, he's chrono boosting out 2 Adepts. But this is 2 Stalkers, a really small, subtle difference. And it's kind of a cute play. I feel like Stalkers had the potential to put on a bit more like a different aggression than Adepts. And it's also just nice, like, because if your opponent follows up with Oracle, which by the way, PtitDrogo is following up with Oracle, you just have the Stalkers ready to deal with that.
All good points. So, during this downtime, for those of you who are asking where Rifkin is, he went to sleep, guys. I don't think he didn't know that round 16 was going to be played. He might have tried to stick it out a little bit longer, just taken a nap had he known. But the point is, he was really tired. He's done a lot of casting lately. He didn't know that it was going to be this morning. He thought it was tomorrow morning, etc., etc.
Absolutely. Yeah, daylight's shining. It's dangerous for him to be out in the daylight.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go that path, are we? Yeah.
We've traversed down far enough.
Yeah, but seriously. So I asked Fear Dragon, because, Base Rate TV gets to cover half of the round of 16 matches, main stage gets the other half, and the other streams that were casting earlier today have all, well, probably gone to sleep.
Yep, very accurate. But we are starting to see a bit of shapings from these guys' builds. We already had, again, the Stargate coming out from PtitDrogo. Oracle is now on its way across the map. But, again, we have these Stalkers. Now, the problem with Stalkers in PvP is that they do not kill Adepts very quickly. He's really going to be relying on that Photon Overcharge. But these Adepts are going to have the opportunity to get a decent number of worker kills if they just start gunning it down on top of them. But, well,
nice.
So far, yeah, Neeb's defense has been pretty good so far.
Yeah. Really quite intelligent to realize what Drogo's plan was there. I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious, happening more and more as more PvPs are being planned out, but still really nice to anticipate that Oracle and have the Stalkers in position as well as some of the Shakur in position. Both thirds are going to be taken right now. Drogo's just a little bit faster, but again, they both seem to be playing very smart. It's going to be a good PvP. It is a best of 5, and they do seem equally matched so far.
Yeah, and I've had the privilege of watching me play his PvPs out as I think it was last weekend He got to play a bunch of PvPs versus Huck and a couple other players, and he really did impress me with his PvP. He doesn't do anything super crazy or hyper different from other Protoss players in the matchup. He still likes to go for that kind of Stalker, Disruptor play, and sometimes we'll go into that Charge Slot Archon style. But really, one other thing that I think we might start seeing a little bit of is he really likes to go heavy on the Immortals, and not afraid to do like the double, triple Immortal or robotic facility plays.
Well, Drogo is not exactly skipping his robo, he does have one, but is going for double Stargates. Void Ray comes out of here, and I just wonder,
Ooh.
what's it gonna be from both? What's it gonna be? Come on.
Void Rays?
Come on.
Oh god, Void Rays are
Void
such an
Rays.
interesting unit in the matchup. Because normally, like, you think about PvP these days, and it's often so adept heavy that you kind of end up neglecting a lot of your Stalkers, and you're getting out Immortals, and you're getting out Disruptors, and you're getting out all these units that don't shoot up.
Very interesting. Neeb is going for Blink, so he's going to be the one that can apply a little bit of pressure, at least, you know, stay around this kind of area. Not exactly push in with pylons and dust towers the way that it's formed. You're kind of guaranteed to have a pretty good defense on 3 bases, but 4 bases get trickier and trickier. Actually, Neeb probably could use more pylons.
Yeah, Neeb is throwing down the fleet beacon, and he did it in full vision range of the Phoenix, the hallucinating Phoenix that came in and scouted everything out. So with the double Stargates pumping out some of these Void Rays, he may be going. This is where I'm a little bit undecided on where I think PtitDrogo is going to go. He may be going straight into Tempest, but that's generally what you do when you're getting out your Disruptors and you want to be able to harass your opponent. I'm wondering if he's going to go straight into Carriers.
They both get very good Hallucinate Phoenix Scouts. Drogo right now just getting a glimpse of the tech and the army of Neeb, so a very passive game, but that's where Dust Towers usually goes to, honestly. It's just so easy to defend with those pylons on the front lines. Again, Neeb not so much, but definitely Drogo. Oracle actually gets in here and he's going to kill a couple of probes. How much has he gotten? 6 probes, not bad.
Yeah, this Oracle's been so effective because it's been able to plant down a couple of stasis wards at his front, just poke around, get an idea of everything that's going on. It's just been a really cost-effective Oracle and keeping it alive again. Oh, yes! It's the Carriers! Zombie Girl, this is why it's the most beautiful matchup in the world.
Look at it! Yeah, this is quite interesting. And this is, I don't know if, Neeb scouted the double Stargate. I don't think he scouted the 3rd Stargate quite yet, but he also saw the fleet beacon, no?
But
Yeah.
the way that Neeb is reacting, he's going for charge. He's continuing to go with charge, I should say. He's getting up his Templar Archives and going for Storm, getting up Archons. All the things that Neeb is doing kind of rings to me like he's just saying, okay, well, I'm just gonna kill you before you legitimately get up a scary carrier army. Like, this doesn't. None of this seems like a I'm going to deal with carriers kind of army. This is like, I'm going to kill you before they matter army.
Okay, alright. Well, that is certainly a way to play the game, you know? Like, carriers do need to be in, they need to help each other. They need to be in friendly numbers, shall we say, to actually work out. They do need this Graviton Catapult as well, which just finished. So that's nice, but if he doesn't break Drogo before the carrier gets to a, like that nice, really nice count, then he is in some trouble. We'll see. He does have the better economy. He got that 4th base up a lot sooner, and he's been on 11 more drones, so it's actually going to start hitting him in the army supply once they start getting maxed out. Oh, Militia Corps, real quick, like.
Yeah, well, one thing that I think Neeb is going for, and this is something that you can do against a massive number of Void Rays, although I think it gets a little bit weird when you're dealing with carriers. You can get a lot of High Templar and just storm the heck out of the air army, especially if they end up stacking up. And we did end up seeing a total of 10 High Templars, although a couple of them turned into Archons now, so we have 8 High Templars. But that's still quite a few storms. But PtitDrogo, I feel like he's going to end up losing out on the ground battle, but the air battle, it's going to be really difficult for Neeb to win.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And, I mean, this, certainly from what we've seen, this doesn't happen too often in PvP, and I wonder if Neeb has a lot of experience against this specific type of play. We'll see how he controls the army, I think is the best way to really tell if he's played it before or not. He is still out-expanding Drogo, and I definitely think that's the most intelligent move to do, but the army composition still might be a problem. which it's gonna happen right now. Still not a lot of carriers. This could be a really great moment for
Oh.
Drogo. Still doesn't have that nice supply.
Oh, this mothership has full energy right now. A High Templar could easily feedback that and really take out a lot of the health on
Oh, good point. But it's probably, does anyone remember that? Like, of course, motherships don't come out very often in PvP.
it. You know, it does sometimes happen
God.
these days. Mothership cores, so motherships, I could see it very well happen if he does remember it. But one of the other ways that you can deal with the carriers is if you just kill the interceptors fast enough. I mean, if you with Storm, with how many Archons Neeb has, oh my god, forget Storm.
Yeah.
Just go straight Archon.
Yeah, I noticed. I was like, where did all those High Templars go to? And they all morphed into Archons. But they're having some trouble with the Sim City, believe it or not. That Sim City playing more than just adding on some cannons. Oh, but I think he's pushing forward just a little bit too much. Still doesn't have that really max out carrier army, but I think Neeb has to retreat.
Well, no, look at this. Look at the carriers and the number of interceptors. Actually, the unit
Oh, that's a
count
good point.
there's only a few interceptors left over. Just those Archon shots. Because the interceptors end up clumping up so much in the air, the Archons massacre them. And this is such a cool way to deal with the carriers.
That is an excellent point. I definitely would not have noticed that. But yeah, that light gray instead of the dark, or vice versa, I suppose. And I mean, eventually Drogo's gonna run out of money. He's only on 4 bases. He's kind of being contained on 4 bases, which means Neeb just staying here makes a lot more sense. You know, not exactly eager to push in, but not really eager to pull out either. Drogo has no other, attacks on the field. Neeb's really starting to out-expand him. It's getting really quite concerning. If only he had Vortex, you know? Vortex after the army.
Vortex, I don't know if Vortex would work out so well considering he'd be up against an Archon toilet from his opponent. It'd be a very interesting situation, yeah. But, well, we got the Archon still massacring those interceptors. The interceptor's still doing a lot of damage, though. Especially, you have to remember, whenever an air unit for carriers gets a plus... Oh my god, yeah, they murder that army. But you have to remember, the interceptors attack twice. So every one of those +1 air weapon upgrades for the carriers is effectively like a +16 weapons upgrade. Because the interceptors attack twice, they do 2 extra damage, and there are 8 interceptors.
Look at their army supply now. The Archon and the interceptor point was so good. Like, really respect for noticing that, but apparently it doesn't work out when actual push comes to shove. Because remember, Drogo, he made it look scary, but he was also, like, waiting for a more maxed out army. And then the capital ships, that Golden Armada, is really quite scary, even if your ground army is also scary. They have more mobility, they can actually abuse the terrain a little bit more. And, of course, this Mothership Core, cloaking everything has also played a big part, I think, too. The Observers have been, of course, cut off for Neeb, and the only thing he really could attack were the Interceptors. GG!
Wow.
What a game.
PtitDrogo